Scanning, synchronizing, stabilizing. Engaged.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on? This is K Rev, and I am so happy to be here. I'm so excited. You know why I'm excited? Because I'm breathing. I am alive. You know what? So many people passed away during the pandemic, and it still is a pandemic. It doesn't have to be a disease to be a pandemic. When there's scarcity, when there's fear, when there's things going on, very erratic things is happening and no control, then that's somewhat of a pandemic. But when COVID was hit really hard, we lost a lot of people and a lot of situations was going on. And so even now with all this other stuff brewing and coming up and happening, it's just you have to be gracious and thankful just to be able to breathe. And I am so happy that I can breathe at this moment. I can do my own thing. I can get up out of my own bed. I can push myself. I can speak and say no one's behind me telling me what to say. I'm so happy to be here. I guess I sound like I'm in testimony service at church, but I am so excited to be available to have a conversation with everyone, man, because this is really helping me, believe it or not. It helps me to grow more. It helps me to not be shy or not be hesitant to speak in front of people. So I really appreciate this opportunity of this platform that God allowed me to create to help others, be seen, to help others have visual and audio presence online as well. So it's really awesome to be available on Kouch Couch. Kouch Couch is actually brought to you by Standard Magazine, which is the voice of the culture and the oxygen to the entrepreneur. Listen, if you're looking to get your story told in the most authentic way, listen, reach out to us. We will position you to have front cover advertisement, opportunity to really speak and say your truths about who you are and the business endeavors that you also have. Also, KR3 & Co. Enterprises is also a sponsor. They help businesses grow and grow securely. And also Lit Chat, Now Your Words Have Fire, is a social media platform that we are a part of and partnered with. So I'm excited about that. So today's conversation is with none other than Cleveland's own Miss E. Like, listen, she is awesome. She's great. You got a chance to get a little bit of information from her last time, discussing all of the businesses that she's a part of, and she successfully has positioned herself to actually be a servant and a help to other people. Now, today we're going to briefly talk about these glory loaves, because I got a chance, like I said online last time, we was going to get a chance to have I was going to order some and get my book, and I did. I ordered 3 loaves. I think the strawberry banana nut, and then also zucchini nut. So I'm going to share, I'm going to eat some of this while we online today to really share with you how good these loaves are. Every day, like the first time I got my loaves, dude, I was excited. I ate 2 within 48 hours, and the moisture, it was like someone had poured water on this bread. It was so much moisture here, man, and I was excited. And every day from then, I would open the refrigerator. It was like, any day now, like today could be your day to be eaten. So I had to save this last glory loaf for today just to share with you on how great this product is. So I'm excited. So we're going to talk to her today briefly about her other business. She's an author, so she's a publisher. She's created her book, and the name of this book is Are You Sure That You Are Ready? It's a guide for vendors by Miss E. So this is it. It is an awesome book, awesome read. I got the chance and privilege to really go through it, and some things in there that's really helping to question what I need to do going forward. So I'm definitely excited. Now, if you are currently a business owner or you are considering becoming a business owner, or intend to, use vending and crafts events as an option to increase sales and exposure, now this is going to be the book for you to read. Now, Miss E, she's sharing her knowledge and expertise based on being in business for 12 years, having gone to events in and outside of the city of Cleveland while building relationships in the process so that you will yield results without it costing you the healthy price of trial and error on your own. And so we're excited to have her on. So after our introductory music, listen, I love my own introductory music. I'm excited about that. We're going to have Miss E on, and we're going to talk about this book. We're going to talk about these glory loaves and how you can get your hands on some of these loaves. Listen, it's happening here on the couch. Kay's Couch. We'll be right back.
Throughout life, one may feel he or she hasn't been heard, seen, or no one is listening. However, look up. Don't fret. There is a place for you.
Processing.
Greetings.
Access granted.
Welcome to the couch. Kay's Couch.
It does not say whether you're bad or good, but it is a measurement.
Every single time you go to that bathroom and you got a stream of urine flowing out, you need to be saying, praise God.
Wow.
Because that's a sign that your kidney is getting better.
Like during that time when it was a fraction of a penny, and then you held it until today, you're a multi-millionaire.
Great. And as a result of this next conference, I am going to have a number of events following the conference.
Okay, I got you.
Nobody else. Willing to open the book.
To get this knowledge that you have, you gave up a lot of personal time with family.
It's less than $40 for both.
Wow.
And I have it in a variety of colors.
I take every moment as is. I've learned to be where my feet are.
Miss E, what's going on? Miss E, how you doing?
Hey there, good. How are you?
Listen, I'm full from these glory lobes. That's what I'm doing. I feel the glory. I feel the glory.
Amen. Amen.
I feel the glory. Thank you for being available today. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, we have to we're gonna get started. I know we don't have a lot of time, but we're gonna get started real quick. But how's your week been? How's everything been going? Been busy?
Yes, I have been busy both in and outside of the house, working on getting some things in order for myself while trying to assist my clients in making things easier for them as well.
Oh, awesome. I just really can appreciate that and really appreciate how you're moving. And again, shouts out to Shira for introducing me to you.
Yes.
Like, I really appreciate her for that. And having an opportunity to speak with you. Now, you have several businesses. Like you have several businesses. Kind of enlighten us a little bit on some of the things that you are doing right now.
Well, like you mentioned in the intro, I am an author and I'm a baker, the Glory Loaves. I do home and office organizing and cleaning, and I'm also a certified relationship coach.
I love that. Now, as far as the organizing in the office and home space, what got you into that? What started that?
Well, officially, it was something that I always did. Like growing up, I used to help both my maternal grandmother and my godmother get their houses together over the summer when I would come up and visit. Well, in 2007, February 2007, a friend of mine came over to my house and saw how I had things arranged and stuff and was inquiring on who did it and everything. And she was pleasantly surprised that it was me. And, she's like, well, people will pay you to help them do this. And I was like, I hadn't really thought about it. Even though I watched it on TV, I hadn't considered doing it as a business myself until I introduced it at a group and ended up getting my first client as a result, and have been officially doing it ever since.
Wow. So I know some places that you've been into. So what gets you through this moment? Like, do you listen to music while you cleaning? So what makes it so enjoyable for you?
For me, cleaning serves a purpose, because at the end of the day, if I'm helping you to relieve you from the stress of your mess, then I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. For me, yes, I can listen to music. I can talk. Like some of my clients, they'll talk to me while we're cleaning or when we're organizing. For the most part, that's a whole conversation of the how and why this came to be and everything, and how we can get rid of it. Because a lot of times when you're purging in particular, in a sense, it is end up being like a coaching session, because we're working through why you have this and stressing the importance of why you need to get rid of it in a lot of cases, because I'm asking, why do you still have this? What are you doing with it? When was the last time you touched it? If it belongs to other family members, okay, well, if it belongs to them, tell them to come get it. So I just help them. I become their voice without the judgment.
That's cool.
I stress that a lot to some of my other friends and other business associates when we have conversations, because someone will say, oh, they really need you at their house and everything. And I said, well, that sounds good. I said, but are they ready for me to come to their house? Just because you want me there doesn't mean they want me there. And so I help them just go through the process, because you may not necessarily have to get rid of a lot of stuff, but you have to decide, do you really have room for it?
Got you.
I'm helping you make your space better, because one of the things I learned, I was at a branding seminar back in 2016, and I usually reference this because that weekend was so impactful to the information that I learned and gathered, and the connections I made as a result. But he spoke about how every mess that you have, it basically holds you back from your abundance.
Wow.
Because you have no room for anything. How can anything get in if you don't have nowhere to put it? So that, and if nothing else, needs to be your motivation factor. Because if you really think about it, those who are successful, whether you call them rich, wealthy, however you define them, the odds of them having a cluttered house are very slim to none, because nothing can stay there.
That's true.
You can't get anything in.
That's true.
So whether you do it yourself or you get somebody to come in to help you on a regular basis, that's the key to it.
Wow.
I'll give you an example. One of the ladies who was at the seminar, her and I knew each other beforehand, because she bought the Glory Loaves and everything. She was sitting right behind me. And before he made this announcement, her and I were just having a conversation, and she said, I need to figure out how to get you to my house, because she's like, I got this room that I really need to get together. And I said, oh, okay. So I said, well, we'll work it out. We'll talk about it. Well, he made that announcement. She sent me a text message. She's like, yeah, we're definitely scheduling something right away. And then I did. I went out there. We got that room together that day. It was a process, but we did. And once she did that, I promise you, her ventures and everything really took off.
Wow.
I don't think she's been much home since.
Wow. Wow.
She travels a lot. She does a whole lot, and it just really opened the doors once she got that area together.
Wow.
Because all the rest of her house was great.
So that really triggers another conversation more in depth concerning just life, spirituality, or maybe mental blocks. So maybe certain things in life that you can just take that same analogy about life in certain areas of your life, that could be holding you back. Don't mean to really get biblical or use the Bible, but it says lay aside every weight that can so easily beset you or hold you back.
That part.
And so that's really, we could talk about that all day, man. That is pretty enlightening. So this is not only a business, for you, but it's almost like a ministry. Like you're
Mhm.
almost going in, helping people clean up their acts, not just physically, but if a person really allow themselves to be one with the cleaning, then they can see themselves unblocking certain things about their life while that stuff is so. Oh, that is pretty dope, Miss E.
Yep. And that
Wow.
was the other thing that came up too at that seminar, because I remember the instructor when he started, and he had read my what was called my networking card that
Mhm.
summarized all of my businesses. He at first tried to have a problem with it, saying, well, how do these connect? These don't even really connect. I said, well, yeah, they kind of do.
They all
And
do.
once
They
I
do.
did, and because he kept referencing me as an example, needless to say, before the end, matter of fact, I think by the time we went to lunch on the first day, everybody knew who I was and what I did.
Wow.
I even sold some loaves there because I had some with me.
Wow.
So yeah, so it all comes in, and I'm still in connection with some of those same people.
That's good. But you wrote about that in connections in the book. So we're going to
Mm-hmm.
talk about that here in just a
Mm-hmm.
second. And so, but as I read your book and as having knowledge of who you are and conversations that we've had
Mm-hmm.
and being on the show, everything you do does tie in together.
Mm-hmm.
So from what you wrote in the book, how it works, far as your organizing, your business acumen, and you can position and organize from there to your business, there to how you schedule your day. So I'm just kind of looking at everything. So everything that you do does tie together. So I definitely appreciate you. So we're going to dive in here into this book real quick. So I'm not going to talk about the entire thing. It's a great book, everybody. It is. Are you sure that you are ready? Are you sure? A guide for vendors. This is by Miss E. And I conjured up some questions. See, like chapter one, I'm like really intrigued. Like chapter one says, stay ready and you won't have to get ready. That was very, very cool with me because I use that statement a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And because if you do stay ready and opportunity shines on you, you don't have to try to prepare and be, fumbling around. So I wanted to know, like in this chapter, it discussed, how you need to be ready, stay ready.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have you ever come across let me do it like this. How important is it for an entrepreneur to be prepared? Just kind of tell me that. How important is it?
Oh, it's very important. It's key.
Okay.
Now, in the beginning, as you start out, there's some things you may not be aware of, so that you just won't know. But as you know,
Hmm.
then I find that you're then charged with utilizing that information. Because once you don't, you're going to find yourself always having to catch up, follow up, um, and you can miss the opportunity, because a lot of times that meeting, that encounter just may be for that in that moment, and you not having the information available could make the difference in whether or not you'll be able to move forward, or you'll just have to chalk that up as a, dang it, I shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Right, right, right.
So I have found that if you find yourself second guessing even yourself, I'll leave out the house sometimes, and for example, and I learned early on, I can't, if I know I'm gonna be out and about, intermixing with people, if I'm going to events or something, like just to shop and support, it's usually good if I try to have at least a few lows on me, because people are used to me having them on me. And if they come across me, they're looking for the bag. There's a bag that I have that they're like, okay, I know you got some lows on you, right? Like, what you got? And if I do not, they are not happy with me. They're like, how
Wow.
you gonna come and just not have, I'm like, well, I wasn't coming for that. They're like, I don't care. You supposed to have them. So more times
Wow.
than not, I leave out with my bag in hand. And if I don't sell any, that's fine. Because I'd rather have them and not need them than need
Yeah,
them and not have them.
don't have them.
Right. Because a lot of times people want it just right then. They may not put in an order or whatever. They want it from me right then. And
Gotcha.
I try to oblige. Now, it's different if I say, well, I had some and they all gone now. You should have called me earlier, or you should have called me. You know.
Right.
So yeah, it does make a difference.
When I say, people, these glory loaves is everything. This bread is good. Bread is good, and I try not to eat a lot of bread at all. But oh my God, it is great. I really can appreciate these loaves. All right, so I can appreciate you saying me and letting us know that you got to be prepared as an entrepreneur. I'm learning that as well for myself, making sure that you know your prices, making sure that you can give off conversation, not second guessing yourself and act as if you're fumbling over your own business. So you have to be prepared. I really like that. So when you're out and about, you've been out to some events, and I know that's how our connection met you. You know, when you're out in those situations and when you're out in these places, have you stumbled upon or met an entrepreneur that wasn't prepared?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
How does that make you feel when you meet these people?
I have mixed feelings.
Okay.
I mean, because I have empathy first and foremost, because I was like, they don't know.
Got you.
Right. You know, and no one is taking the time.
Okay.
And so if I'm given the opportunity and if they're open, then that becomes an opportunity for us to exchange information. For example, recently, I was at a event and a woman, I saw her when she was coming in, and I always take note to the amount of stuff people bring in with them, because I work to ride simple, you know, because I don't have to, I've tried to convey to people, you don't have to bring in the whole store. The idea is for them to come back to you later, you know, so don't bring your whole store right then in that moment, because 9 out of 10, you're going to leave with just as much stuff. True. Especially if you display too much, like I mentioned in the book, because it can overwhelm people and they'll be like, no, that's okay. So she ended up sitting next to me and she had all this stuff and it was, of course, spilling out. And, you know, the organizer in me was like, whoo, this baby need to get this together. And so, but I could tell that she was new. Because there's just a certain, you just know someone new versus someone who's, you know, been in it for a minute. And so I just nicely mentioned to her about clearing up her area and stuff, because she went and got rid of the chair that they provided for you. I said, well, why are you getting rid of the chair? She's like, well, I usually don't sit down. I said, honey, we're going to be here for at least 4 or 5 hours. You're going to want to sit down because we're not going to be busy all that time, because they have some, you know, the show is going to be going on.
Right.
And she was like, oh, okay. And she was like, well, I don't really have a lot of stuff. You know, no, she said, I don't have nobody to help me. I said, honey, you can't use that as an excuse. I said, because you're not going to always have someone to help you.
Right.
You know, and I said, and it's going to be key that you clear your area up, because you're going to need to get back and forth. I may need to get back and forth, because the spaces were kind of tight. So spacing and safety are key, you know. And so she went on about getting it together and stuff. And even when she was selling some of her products, she was started off almost cutting herself short. And fortunately, the customer that she presented it to overpaid her because as a result of that. He wasn't going to let her sell herself short, because she had a basket marked at 50, was talking about she was willing to sell it for either 40 or 45. Keep in mind, the whole event hasn't started yet. These are like the VIPs who are in, you know, the early birds.
Right.
And I'm hearing this and I'm like, we just started. Why is she doing that? And so I, you know, took my time and waited until we had an opportunity, and I spoke to her about it. You know, I said, we're too early in for you to start cutting deals at the top. You know, you didn't even give them you know, and she's like, well, I just want everybody to be happy. And she was a very sweet woman, very sweet. And I said, you're not going to make everybody happy. And that's okay.
That's
you know? And I said, that's what come with it. I said, for someone who doesn't want it, there'll be someone right behind them who will get it. I said, so that's what it is. And so she was like, okay. And before the end of the night, we had spoken, and she ended up getting my book and spoke back to, she ended up messaging me later and said how the book really helped her and gave her some ideas and things on how to go and do better. Because she said, I'm really new at this. I was like, I understand. It's okay.
Wow. That is pretty interesting to just not be prepared. But there's a lot of reasons why a lot of people aren't prepared. But when you have seasoned entrepreneurs that should know better, and not prepared, now that makes you second guess whether you do business with them or not, because they're supposed to know. You know, if you've been in business like 7 to 10 years and you still not doing right, then it's kind of hard to go forward in conversation with someone like that, because they should already know better. So I can definitely understand that. Like, this is an amazing book, everybody. I need you guys to just really, really tap in. And before we go to commercial break, I want you guys to see this book. This book is amazing. It's awesome. Are you sure that you're ready? A guide for vendors. And I got a couple more questions that I want to ask, and I wanted to follow up with. Before we go, I do want to ask though, now we're going to talk about these glory loaves when we come back before we leave, and I'm going to showcase what these glory loaves look like. And also I'm going to take a bite size, and I don't want y'all to look at me in hog heaven, you know, eating this glory loaf while I'm online. so I mean, but at the end of the day, you know, these loaves are great. So when someone buys your merchandise from you, I want to ask, and they purchase your loaves, or they buy your book, or they purchase your services, how does that make you feel as a creator? Tell me that.
Well, it's a blessing. I'm always grateful. I don't take anything for granted, especially since this was none of my idea to begin with.
Right, you mentioned
So
that.
it confirms I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Especially, and you know, when I hear reactions and stories about different things on how it's helped, how what I've done or the part that I've imparted has truly helped somebody to be better, to live better, to feel better. You know, those little things, it really does make me feel good. I use the hashtag purpose brings smiles as part of it, because it does, both to myself and to the people who are on the receiving end.
Okay. I've you know, been in a position when I sell my products, so I talk about packages, and sometimes for me, I pinch myself, or I mean, I feel like all because, you know, you're so used to, I ain't gonna say you, but in general, I've been so used to promoting someone else's stuff or selling someone else's product. And then when it comes out of my mouth in conversation about me, every now and then I'll have that feeling, you know, and I guess it just really makes me a little bit more real, and makes it a little bit more, you know, a little bit more like you're really doing this, you know, like, you know, go ahead and believe in yourself a little bit more to push forward. But I just wanted to know, before I went to a brief break, just to kind of know, how does that feel when you're actually selling your product and someone actually is buying, and you make a substantial amount to secure your life with your own product? Like, I just really wanted to know that. So I really appreciate you sharing that.
Yes,
Really
yeah, especially considering I never saw myself even doing it. So
I definitely understand. I truly do. I definitely understand that. That is cool. So we're going to take a brief break from our sponsors, and we're definitely going to be right back to kind of finish up our interview. And you guys are going to watch me take a bite. Like, I already demolished 2 already. So we're going to take a bite online of this zucchini nut bread. Oh my God, from Glory Loaves. We got Miss E on the couch, on Kay's couch. We'll be right back.
Life is filled with many unexpectancies. If something happened to you today, heart attack, cancer, stroke, or diagnosed with anything terminal, are you prepared for what's next? Only 1 out of 4 to 5 Americans have considered that life is unexpected, uncertain, and has some uncontrollable risk. Are you that 4 to 5 that hasn't taken action yet? Call right now for your free quote. Tomorrow's not promised. The protection of your legacy depends on what choice you make in this moment. Call right now. The word lit has taken on a whole new meaning.
Warning.
This is not a drill.
Feel the energy at Lit Chat. We don't just like your post, we ignite your post. From the serious businessman, merchant, seller, socialite to the prolific entertainer, it's time now to show the world just how lit you are. www.litchat.com, your source for lit status, lit content, and conversation. Lit Chat, now your words have fire. Now on Droid and Apple.
Dublin, Georgia, let's get ready for a night of elegance.
You have a way with me like no one else. Yeah, you almost make me fall in love. If you keep this up, then I'll let you in. Oh, wanna get you closer to my body. Wanna feel your hands all over me. Gonna make them jealous, everybody. 'Cause you know we got it, chemistry. Oh yeah, all around me. Oh yeah, chemistry. Oh yeah, you and me. Yeah, you know we got it, chemistry. You make all my problems feel miles away. Nothing in this world made sense up till today. I can see the colors now, no black and white. If you keep this up, then I'll stay the night. 'Cause you have a way with me like no one else. Yeah, you.
Lit Chat, now your words have fire.
Are we back? We are back with Miss E, with Glory Loaves. Miss E, again, thank you so much for chiming in today and hanging out.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I think Shira had sent in a message. She was saying hello and saying there was so many great diamonds in the interview, and so I really appreciate that. And a friend of
That's
mine,
reminds me, we're supposed to be doing lunch soon too. We got to make our date.
absolutely, yeah, she's awesome. And a friend of mine, Linda Rigsby, she's also I call her Bella Biz. She has her own talk show as well. I appreciate her chiming in as well, giving some comments. But I wanted to again, thank you again for this book and this opportunity. And I got a signed copy. Thank you so much for that. You're
welcome.
And basically, once you, as you grow higher in your business, I can always say, I know her because she signed my book. She signed my book.
Right.
She signed my book. I wanted to look at also, it was in chapter 3. It was something that really caught my eye. And it was talking about transitioning and balancing full time. So this was like transitioning from a full-time 9 to 5 into positioning yourself to being a full-time entrepreneur. And one of the statements that I really wanted you to explain a little bit from this chapter, it was an adding an additional income adding additional income lasts by creating balance. Could you kind of let us know a little bit about that statement? And when you're adding an additional income, in order for it to last, you got to create balance. What do you mean by that?
Well, it's part of self-care.
Okay.
At the end of the day, because if you are so consumed and so focused with business,
mm-hmm.
Who are you sharing this business with? What happens? You know, I mean, because before you started doing the business, you interacted with your friends, family, you know, and especially if you're married, your significant other, or in a long-term relationship, you want to be able to keep that part going because that support is necessary. It is key because it also helps keep you from who else are you going to talk to? You need to be able to have a safe space of who you can talk to, who you can share with. And though they may not be able to understand everything, you know, just being an ear sometimes is what all you really need.
Okay.
So you have to be able to keep things in its perspective. And because you're always, I don't say always, but in a sense, yes, you're always networking. Everyone you come across is a potential client or potential reference. So you are always on. So at what point can you just turn off? Can you just unload? Can you just relax? And so
Gotcha.
you have to be able to do that because you're going to get burnt out, and it's not going to end well.
Gotcha.
So in order to keep yourself in the game, you have to take time to reset and refocus.
Gotcha. And I couldn't agree more with having to keep a balance between yourself and working. I've had that issue with myself at some point in time, always going. And at some point in time, and you're going, it can actually become counterproductive because, you haven't given yourself time to rest, or then
Right.
you have more often brain fogs and can't really think clearly, or then you can't produce or create thoroughly because you are not creating a personal balance for yourself between you and what it is that you're building and creating. So I definitely can certainly agree with you concerning this. Now, and a lot of people are in places to whether they want to go into entrepreneurship more often now than any time in history. But many people often get it kind of mixed up. To me personally, when I say that, is a lot of people, they quit their jobs before having a plan. And so when they jump out into into the realm of the deep, and they want to hustle hard, now they think they're living the dream, and living the dream is not hustling hard when you don't have to.
That part.
You work hard. You work hard while it's easy. So as an entrepreneur yourself that has been out here, for now as a seasoned professional, what would you recommend to someone that's actually thinking about making that jump? I know you kind of talked about it here in this chapter a little bit, but just right now, what would you say to someone that's actually got there on that mind to do that?
Are you sure? Listen, it comes up because, when I went full time with it, it was a lot of unknowns,
Gotcha.
and in my head, I thought the reason God had told me to do this was for one reason, right? That wasn't even it.
Wow.
Because in my head, because at that time, this was shortly after my first book was released for the marriage, a singles guide to preparing for marriage.
Right.
So I thought in my head, the narrative I created for myself was, oh, he must want me to be out here so that I am free to move about, so I can go travel, and go do all these things with the book, right? Mind you, I didn't have not a publicist or anything like that to go out and do anything. Nothing was scheduled, nothing was booked. No one was even asking. No one knew. Okay. The book had been out for about a year. Nobody knew much of anything, right?
Wow.
Especially not outside of Cleveland, or my circle. So you have that, and you have this plan in your head. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Well, about a year or so in, I had to reevaluate some things.
Gotcha.
I really did. One of my good friends had said to me, she was like, well, I know you said this is, because when I thought, okay, I was hoping that the author would take off and running, right? Okay, so that's not what happened. So between the home organizing and the bread, I actually thought the home organization was going to be the money generator, right?
Gotcha.
Because a project could yield X number of dollars. Okay, that's enough to pay this, pay that, right? So I was like, okay, that would be the big thing, and I would sell the bread off to the side as needed, as people requested. That's not what had happened, because it ended up being that the bread actually was doing better than the home reorganizing at that time. And so it was like I really had to make that shift and be okay with making it. Because why am I forcing something that's already, and I don't have to.
Right.
And I could use that energy somewhere else, and everything else could fall in place.
Absolutely.
And that's what ended up happening. So having people like that, that's an important of the circle, and being able to be open and hearing from someone else who's on the outside and not so invested, and then saying, well, because she's supportive. She was a very supportive friend and everything. And she was like, well, consider this. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right. And it was, it was for the best.
Got you. I got you.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I definitely am loving this. Not people. I want you guys to really, those who are really considering entrepreneurship, especially in the vendor aspect, your products that you can sell, or you're into other things that where you can be a vendor at. Make sure you really. I need you guys to really, really, really. Are you sure that you are ready? This book is packed with wisdom and great knowledge, and
Are those your
from
notes that are in there?
yeah, it's my notes. Hey, notes. I told you I read. I told you I read. Hey, listen, this is serious. This is my notes. My notes. I got 3 pages, so that's what I
Wow.
know. Like I really, I write down, and when I read, and when I'm really reading, especially to have a conversation about it, I definitely like my um, guest that has books, and as authors, I want you guys to know that I really did read your book. Like I don't just scour through it. Like I
Mm-hmm.
really read it. Like I really
Mm-hmm.
take my time to read this. Like, and those who are looking at doing some great work as an entrepreneur, as a vendor, as someone who's into crafts and other things like that, you even list in this book the type of businesses that can be actually used, that this can be used for, like accessories, clothing, bath and beauty products, select food and dessert items, craft vendor shows, like books. You can do unique gifts and household items, art and handmade items. Like this book is this is great. And then one line that you put in here that I really liked when you was talking in chapter, what was that, chapter 1, is that, because I got to highlight it, your mantras, you use, I use, and that you have not because you ask not. And if
Mm-hmm.
you don't ask, the answer will always be no. You
Mm-hmm.
never know when an opportunity will come your way, yet you should be prepared to receive it. I like that because some people are not prepared to receive anything,
Right.
but you are a business owner. Like, listen, people, this is a power packed book, and it's a very easy and simple read. Like it's less than 50 pages, like,
Yep.
but it has great information here. Like I'm definitely excited. I got some things in here that I listed out. Like I told you, these are my notes. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I read these. So listen, everybody, I want you, before we let Miss E go, I want you guys to take a look at these glory loaves here real quick. And so you're going to share a little bit about this. This is what we have here. This is some of your, like, your cinnamon raisin. So when you started out, was the cinnamon raisin your first one you started with, or
Yes,
what?
that's what started it all. Yes.
Okay, cinnamon raisin
Mm-hmm.
was one that started it off. Then you got your banana nut, and then you got the zucchini bread, but you got a lot of intermixes as well. So the ones that I had, the strawberry and banana nut bread, which was amazing.
Thank
And
you.
so, yes, and then you got the zucchini bread. So we're going to let everybody kind of take a look at how some of this looks. All right, so I want to make sure that, okay, so my video, it's not going through like it's supposed to.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's okay. Sometimes it's like that.
Right.
Sometimes it's like that. So let me see something. I'm gonna bring it back in so everybody can see what's going on.
Yeah, and the strawberry that you had, that is it's a limited edition. It was a special, summer special I did.
Really?
As a result of networking,
Wow.
some friends of mine, because they have a nonprofit, they have
Uh-huh.
all these donations. And one of the
Mhm.
donations they had was a pallet of strawberries.
Here we go.
And they didn't know what to do with it. Yes,
Oh,
that's a
really?
zucchini. Yes. And so they came to me and was like, can you do something with it? I said, let's see. And I played around with it, and I was like, okay, and got excited about the different mixes as I was mixing. Like, oh, we can do this. And to me,
Wow.
that even spoke a lot on my growth, because I remember when I started,
Mhm.
my intention was to keep it real simple, which it still is overall,
Mhm. Okay.
but making sure that the recipe stays simple too.
Okay.
All
Okay.
this mixing and all this, if I can't mix it based on the inventory I already have, I'm not
Okay.
really trying to do it. That's just because we talking a relatively small space
Right.
overall, right?
Got you.
Because it
Got
started
you.
in my main kitchen, and then I was fortunate enough to where I was with someone who decided to take part of my back patio and create a kitchen area, a baking center,
Oh
as we call it,
man.
for there. So I
Dope.
have a double oven there, which helps production greatly, and I can store everything there, refrigerator, all of that, all right
Wow.
there. So
Wow.
it makes producing very easy. But again, the space is still limited, so I
Right.
can't have all this massive of everything. All these extra little things and stuff, because
Wow.
no, that's just too much on my mind. I like to keep it simple, and if I can intermix, like with the zucchini, um, part of what I'm gonna do for this fall, after some suggestions had come through, I'm gonna add chocolate to the zucchini,
Oh wow.
milk chocolate.
Wow. Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
and this is I can announce this first here.
Oh
Starting this Friday. Yep, you got an exclusive. This
yeah.
Friday, I'm gonna do a tasting at the new location where my bread is over in North Olmsted, the Cleveland Bakery Collective.
Okay.
They have a segment called Meet the Baker. And
Okay.
so we were able to select days of the month that we can come and present our product, let the people get to know us. We can sell other products while we're there, give samplements, right? So I decided the timing worked perfect. I'm going to be there this Friday from 12 to 3, and I'm going to have samples or tasting samples of I'm doing a peach bread.
Oh man.
Yes. And the extra caveat to it, it's actually going to be vegan as well. It's going to be a peach vegan
Oh.
bread. Because
Oh.
when I did
Oh.
the strawberry bread, I didn't make a vegan option for this one.
Okay. Okay.
And I didn't really have anybody ask, so I wasn't necessarily, I
Got
wasn't
you.
swayed that way. So I'm like, well, okay, if they don't say nothing, I'm not gonna make a big deal about it. But this one, because of some of the ingredients that I found in a recipe, I'm not gonna buy that. I
Oh
don't want to have to
wow.
worry about that. And so I'm able to make it vegan friendly.
Oh
So yeah, so I'm
wow.
looking forward to that on this Friday.
Well, get ready for my order, and yeah, get ready for my order. Congratulations on that.
Yes.
Congratulations on that. I can
So that'll be for
definitely.
the fall.
Okay. So this is the vegan bread. Now, I have to, for some reason, if I pause it, it doesn't go all the way through.
Oh,
So
okay.
I
So
have
you gotta
to,
let it run
I
through.
gotta let it run through.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring it in again, and then we'll
One
let
more
it run
time.
through. Yeah, yeah, we'll let it run through this time, and then you can just kind of share with us a little bit. So this is it.
Yes.
This is the glory loaves. And
Yes.
so we got the zucchini
Zucchini.
bread. Okay,
Yes.
the zucchini bread. That's what I'm gonna taste here in just a second. So that's the banana nut, right?
Yes. Yes. I have one
Okay.
with and without nuts, and then I also have a dark chocolate with and without nuts.
Okay.
Those are the mini hearts. Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. So these are some of the products that you have now. They will have to go to see other things and get orders. They go to www.gloryloaves.com to connect with you there. And also they can find you on Facebook as Miss E. Thornton. All right. So also, as you can see, the ticker going at the bottom, the IG is Miss E _ Baker _ organizer. And you have your own YouTube channel as well. AYSTYAR. Are you sure that you are ready? And so,
Yes.
yes. So we definitely listen, I'm truly am a fan. And so we got here. Yes, we got here. Yes. Finally. Told you today was the day. Listen, we're gonna taste this here on camera. Just a bite of this zucchini nut.
Now let
Go
me
ahead.
ask you: are you putting butter on it, or this is without butter?
I got a this one, the other two was without. I just demolished those.
Okay.
But this one I have a vegan cream cheese that I put on top.
Oh
And
wow. Okay. Okay.
So we definitely about to take a bite. Oh my God. Oh my God. It is, listen, it is really that good. I love it. Oh my God, you hear me smacking in my mic. Oh my God. Listen, I can
Everybody calm down.
That is great.
Yay.
Oh my God. It's worth the wait. I've been waiting about 5 days to eat this. And
Well,
so
I'm so glad that it's worked out for you.
it worked out so much. Miss E, thank you so much for being available
You are so
and
welcome.
for talking to us a little bit more about the book and also about these glory loaves. And congratulations on your Friday's event and also upcoming events and things. Now, do you, just for the sake of replaying conversation, do you do orders for holiday?
Yes. Oh
I
yeah.
kind of figured that. I just wanted to make sure, I wanted to ask. And so, like, if
Yes.
somebody had a special order for like Thanksgiving, well, how soon do they need to order before doing that?
Okay. When it comes to the closer we get to the holiday season, I always advise people to prepare in advance because I'm not in control of the postal service.
Got you. Right.
And things can happen. So you give yourself enough time to put the order in, allow time for it to be baked and shipped to you.
Okay.
Now, the good thing is it does keep well once it gets to your house because you can refrigerate it or you can even freeze it depending on what products you have. Because like the mini loaves, if you know you're going to eat those every day, then you can freeze them in the package that they're already in. If you're going to freeze them longer term, say like with the half loaves that you received, you would actually want to put those. I have found that they fare better if you put them in like a freezer bag to give it an extra protection to minimize that that frost over that can happen. I mean, it'll still be good, but that's just an extra, in case those who were mindful of that, because people see freezer burn, they're like, oh, I'm gonna just throw it away. Well, no, it's still good. You just have to do that. I do want to give for your listeners, they can use a code.
Okay.
And get 20% off of their orders.
Woo. Okay.
It'll be GLTY 2020.
TY.
GLTY 2020.
2020. Okay. Got you. Listen, everyone, I want y'all to I need you guys to understand, for the listeners, this is such an awesome deal. Listen, these glory loaves are amazing, like amazing. And I thank Miss E for being here. So GLTY 2020 is the code. If you order offline, make sure you put that code in. You get a 20% discount. Woo, that is good. And so, but listen, Miss E, thank you for today and for being available. I really am appreciative of this relationship. And again, thank you for listening to the voice within, to make the moves that you're making and the sacrifices that you made to be where you are right now. Because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be tasting this awesome bread, and also reading this amazing book, this amazing book. Are you sure that you're ready? Because it had me thinking. So, and I really appreciate that. So, is there anything you want to share before we go?
The other thing I just wanted to add in addition to, asking, are you sure, is to always get confirmation before you step out and do some things. Because when I went full time, it was one thing to do it when I was working a full time job, do it on the side on the weekends. It was something else to do it full time. And I received, because I asked for it and I received multiple confirmations before I stepped out full time.
Gotcha.
I wanted to make sure that I'm hearing right and that I'm going to do right, because when things tend to look iffy, shaky, like they're not going to go through, because you will have those periods, because apparently that comes with it, right? So you need that to keep you going. Like, okay, and for me, I was like, okay, God, now you told me to do X, Y, Z. Okay, I'm gonna need you, please and thank you, to generate some stuff, because this is real. We got real bills. You already know that. People looking for money. I like to be able to give it to them. And I will say this: he has been very faithful in doing that.
That's good.
I had to get out of my comfort zone. I had to step outside of my circle, which I mentioned to you before, and really get out there and start doing some things, because and I've been blessed as a result of it. And he has provided for me. I still fortunately have a roof over my head. I've been here since 2006, not knowing all of this was coming.
Wow.
So I stepped out, and like I said, I don't advise you just going into half-heartedly, you know. And I've been able to get, let me see, when I stepped out, he had me get a new car right before, like a week before I was leaving my job. Didn't make sense to me.
Wow.
I said, okay. Had a couple of hiccups, but he still remained faithful. Ended up having to get a new car last year. This time last year, matter of fact, 2 days ago, it marks a year since I got my new car, my new work car, you know, my new car. Yeah. And at the beginning of the year, it was looking real iffy. Like, I'm like, Jesus, what are you going to do? I need the car to make the deliveries, to go do these things. What you going to do? What you going to do? And he told me to hold on. He told me I had to wait until August 25th. Not sure why that date was there, but it was. I said, okay, all right. I don't know what's going to happen, but okay. And that was the day that everything changed. I got a phone call. And again, and you would think, and it wound up being from my youngest sister. She used to sell cars. She's not doing it anymore, but she's still into the industry. She's still connected. She still made connections. She made, friendships along the way. She sent a text message to one of the people she used to work with. And she said, my sister needs a car. You still do special financing, right? And he said, yeah. He said, okay, he said, okay, have her call me. I called him, sent him my information, in less than 48 hours later, I went to pick my car up, and she took me to go get it.
Wow.
My other sister, she's into entrepreneurship too now, and she's a consultant, and her and I are working together to do some things to help others to build better working relationships. Doing the networking, because she works more with the nonprofits.
Gotcha.
And so she's doing some stuff on that end, and she's like, we need to work together to help people to get a better understanding, a better mindset when it comes to networking and collaborating, things of that sort, because some people get in their own way in that process. So
I love that. So
it all comes together.
You're doing a great thing, Izzy, and you speak of that in the book concerning phone calls, follow-ups, and connections. So you talk about that in the book. So never let anybody tell you that your businesses are not interlocked, because they are, and you're doing a great job about what you're doing, and I really appreciate it. So we're going to be calling it a day, but I want to thank you again for being a part, and everybody, love life and live love, because you only have one. And after the outro, Miss E, let's connect for just a few seconds, and I'll be able to let you go. So all right, everybody, listen, y'all be cool. Have a great week, and I'll be talking to you soon. It's been the Couch, K's Couch. We'll talk to you soon.
Oh,